But pretty solid, don't you think?
Yeah, this is sick as fuck.
Welcome back, YouTube. This is your boy, Metahuman Macaluco, and if you're not familiar with Metahuman lore, sometime last year I made my first attempt into podcasting. I had the help of him during that time period. It has been a whole year since he has been back. Welcome back, Randy.
It's good to have. Thanks for having me, man.
Today we're going to talk about a little bit about your previous career in streaming and being a content creator. First and foremost, I just wanted to ask, how did you get your start?
So, it's really difficult because where I really got to start, I really wouldn't necessarily know. It was more something that just kind of happened out of the blue. It goes far as back as the Xbox 360 days before Twitch was known as Twitch, and it was known as Justin TV.
So there was no initial inspiration that led up to this. You didn't have like a particular role model or particular streamer you were already following. You just kind of said, "Fuck it, we ball."
Pretty much, yeah. It was at a time when content creation really wasn't a big thing. Like, we're talking around the days of early anime, music videos that people would make and upload on YouTube. We're talking as far
You
back.
mean those Nightcore videos?
Nightcore, rap, metal, like. There was a bunch of them, but we're talking.
Oh, you mean the AMVs in general?
Just AMVs in general, like
Oh
early
my
days.
God.
But it
Bleach
would probably
with the
go back.
freaking 3 Days Grace every time kills me.
That was the main subject of Nightcore, from what I understand. But it goes as far back as like 2005 with the original Gears of War. That's how long I've been doing this.
Okay, so you're kind of on your Moist Critical shit. Okay.
But it started with the Xbox 360. Started with Gears of War. I had a really, really horrible capture card. The most basic one you can get, a little Dazzle capture card.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years down the line, as technology grew, I had a Hapage, which was essentially, like a cigar box.
Yeah.
It was essentially the size of a cigar box, maybe a little bit smaller. Everything plugged in the back, had a blue ring around the top of it, and then it upgraded into things started getting more seriously. And I never really considered streaming. I'd always just put out, headshot montages in Gears of War, but I liked playing NHL, and that's really where the streaming kind of took off, was with the NHL franchise.
So it should be no secret that at some point in your career you were referred to as you dad bro, and you had been sponsored by EA. Can you please enlighten us a bit more about that?
Man, that's good times actually. So I had 2 Twitch channels. The first one saw a couple of rebrands, and to the eventual end. So when I started off my new thing, which is HereseyLeader. But You Dab Bro it was never intended to be anything big. It was just chill, hang out, enjoy the vibes, good music.
I mean, it was perfect timing. This is like, what, 2015?
2014 I created the channel, and it was initially the first game I ever streamed was The Binding of Isaac, which I still go back to roguelites every now and then, but roguelikes are easily one of my favorite genres of games. But
God bless, I can't get into them to save my life.
There's a lot of them, and not a lot of them are very good. There's not a lot that I really have enjoyed. There's a select few. Hades. If you haven't played Hades, you have to play Hades. The Binding of Isaac, as aforementioned. There's one called Wizard of Legend that I enjoy. And then the last one that I've really been playing and I would like to get back into is Ship of Fools. You're literally on a ship with 2 cannons, you're a pirate, and you're traversing the seas.
That one sounds. Didn't that come out like 1 or 2 years ago?
I want to say it was 2018. I think it came
Okay,
out.
so
It's been
a
around
hot
a while,
minute.
but it's a great game. It's a unique game. The different types of ammo you can use and the different types of ships. It really is quite an amazing accomplishment. But no, the UDAB really didn't take off until I started streaming NHL, and I had no idea. And it's still kind of mind blowing to this day, but the sports channels really do generate a lot of views. And
Well, I mean, that's how Sketch got famous. He, what was it, Madden he was playing?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he played a lot of football, so it makes sense. It makes sense. But, you know, to see him go from Madden to IRL streaming is kind of insane to me. That's just like that's a different beast on its own.
Which is something I'll eventually go into with my own story as well. But
I would be careful with that live streaming shit, though, because, like, I mean, I don't mean, like, live streaming. I mean IRL live streaming.
oh no, God no, nothing. But there's the shit that
See,
comes.
that particular genre has created too many lol cows as it is, like Johnny Somali, Neon, Fusi.
Or Cyrax.
Cyrax is not an IRL live streamer.
But
Cyrax is
he's
Cyrax.
Ah
man, let's not even bring him into this conversation. Rest in peace, Music Biz Marty.
But the whole EA thing didn't really happen until about 3 years after I started streaming. It was
2017.
More like 2018, I think, is when it really, like, around the end of 2018's game lifespan, because I didn't start my sponsorship really until NHL 19. But
that's huge, though. You got a sponsorship from EA by playing NHL hockey. Do people realize how much of a big deal that actually is in hindsight?
I don't think enough people really realize what a big deal it was. You're talking maybe a handful of 20 Twitch streamers who have that privilege, and some of those streamers are also YouTubers as well. So you're talking out of the entire community, I'll say actively, if it's anywhere to what it used to be, because I haven't played the franchise in some time, there's maybe 100, 200 content creators out there that maybe 20 have that handful of that privilege. And it's definitely like an awe-shocking moment. I never expected to get the DM on Twitter from Flop back in the day. Like, never expected.
Now, when you got that DM, were you skeptical at first?
In all honesty, no. The minute I got the DM, I knew, because a good friend of mine had told me the process that they had, and that's one of the blessings is that a lot of the partnered streamers really took me under their wing. I wasn't the best, I wasn't the most knowledgeable about the game, but I was doing things that nobody else did. Ultimate Team, unfortunately, is always going to be the bread and butter mode. It's 1v1, build the best team that you can possibly can with the cards you can get on the market, go head to head. That's always what the most popular mode was. At the time, sixes was kind of considered an afterthought. So me and a bunch of buddies who were fellow streamers as well, who were looking to get that title, we host lobbies, 6v6. Get your friends, put together a team, take on me and 5 drafted members from the chat, and have a ball with it. And it was getting to the point where we were averaging 40 to 60 people an hour per stream, and it was blowing up. And I'll never forget a good friend of mine, John, who we kind of drifted apart since, but not because of anything, just lives change. He literally told me, "Congratulations, you're the one partnered streamer that kind of built their way in versus having the skill." And he didn't mean that as an insult, but I really didn't get good at the game until a couple of years into my partnership.
Okay. Are you fully aware of some of the Reddit threads that people have made about you?
Oh yeah. There's some ones that he's like, and again, like I said,
NHL Hut, RUHL Hut.
Yeah, definitely some embarrassing moments.
I'm not encouraging anyone to look this up. If you do, it's just a lot of people bitching and moaning, as Reddit has always been.
It definitely some, like, again, like, we're talking, this was like a couple years in the game, I would run in, slap the puck, not score, be pissed off. Obviously, I was trying to play the game like real hockey. I would go in, cycle the puck to the back, take a slap shot. Unfortunately, in most of these sports simulation games, there's always one or two plays that are considered cheese. It's guaranteed to work. Do it 99 times out of 100, it's gonna work. So I would try to play the game the legitimate way. Cycle into the zone, dump the puck, rush in, and I'd bitch and moan about it. I'm sure there's a few clips out there still that are funny.
I found you in a Halo compilation. I'm gonna have to send you that link when I get a chance.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, because I don't ever remember. The only Halo I ever played competitively was
after
Reach,
this interview's done, I'll look it up for you.
But no, I mean, again, man, I definitely made some mistakes early on in that, and one of them was, I'll never forget it, I got so mad I chucked something, and I spun the chair around. I fell out of my chair, and the chair toppled over. You can see the green screen coming down.
No.
So, but I'm sure the clip is still out there, but I'm the one who clipped it. So, funny moments you can look back on, man. Obviously, you're always going to make some mistakes, and mistakes were made, and I definitely at one point let the EA sponsorship get to my head, and I definitely made an ego of myself, and it took being asked to lead to kind of humble myself.
Now, you've played for a total of 3 seasons before leaving?
I was sponsored for 3. I played about 6-7 years of the series in terms of streaming before I finally had enough. After me and the program split ways, I played for 1 more year where I paid for the game out of pocket. And quite honestly, it was not a good game. It was probably the worst one I could have ever paid for out of pocket. It was terrible. The game was horrific.
Out of all the previous games that came out before.
Out of all the previous ones. Now,
what caused this downgrade in quality?
I really wouldn't know where to start, because when I first started, like I said, I did the 6s, but I also played Ultimate Team. I didn't play Ultimate Team in that sense. Now keep up this money. I had never spent money on microtransactions in gaming at all at this point. Like, back in the day, 360 days, as you know, everything was unlockable with grinding and skills, everything else. It wasn't until like the mid 2010s where this pay for content thing really came into existence.
Pay for content is crazy, but it's an unfortunate truth.
Live service games, downfall of gaming, I'm telling you. But 16 was pretty bare bones. 17, they started introducing some new things into HUT. It was enjoyable. But 18 is where it really took off. Like, I'm talking, the content was amazing. Several different things per week. 6s was starting to get a little bit more appreciation, but at this point I drifted away from 6s more into the 1v1 mode, and Flashback Fridays, Retro Thursdays, events every couple of weeks with new cards. Like, it was good. Eating was good.
What were your best and worst moments during that time span?
From 16 to 18?
Yes.
16 to 18, I mean, the worst moments I would say would be those videos, or the couple of clips of the Reddit threads that you could find, Again, everyone got mad at the game, and it kind of took a few years for me to realize that while it was humorous content, it really wasn't the right image you wanted to put out.
Yeah.
Some of the best moments is I had no idea about Team of the Year everything. Someone gifted me a 99 Team of the Year Patrick Kane my first year in, and I was blown away, man.
Okay.
And that's my favorite player. He's on my team. He's a 99. I'm gonna tear it up. But around 2018, that's when things really started going downhill. 2019 was a phenomenal game, but at that point, the current community manager had stepped down. The new one.
You mean the manager at the time?
Yeah, the manager at the time stepped down. The new one. From the minute he came in, I knew he didn't like me. I was different, I wasn't there based on skill, though that continued to grow. I was more about the community that I built and everything else. And we almost from the get-go, we kind of just bumped heads.
Was this frequent?
Oh yeah, very frequent.
So was it like just like DMs being shot back and forth, like do 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 do.
Not even
Or
DMs.
was it more like getting into verbal altercations over Discord?
I wouldn't even say verbal. I wouldn't even say altercations. It was more of just the fact is that, we'd reach out to him and silence. He would tell us to report, inappropriate names, whether racist or over-sexual, and silenced.
That was it?
Never. Like, we would never be told if any reporting was ever coming in from anywhere. Anything else. There were some incidents where we knew after a previous incident, not to comment on the matter, say anything, but nothing from saying like, hey, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Like, we're aware of what happened, everything else. Compared to the previous thing with the previous manager, I'll go a little throwback. There was a moment, I think it was 2018 or 19, I don't remember, but there was a Madden tournament.
The Jacksonville shooting?
We were shown the clip. We were said, listen, this clip is out there. And I said, like, if someone asks you about it or links to you about it, due to one or two things, either ignore the comment and just, or, just say you're not allowed to comment on the time, like.
But did they actually make you sign an NDA?
For that incident, no, but they said, hey, something happened where there's a clip circulating, just please don't comment on the matter. The previous community manager, like, on the dot, like communications, responses, and if we had to wait, it was no more than a few hours before he would get back to us. The new one, from what I understand, he's still the community manager. Please do not go out of your way to message a guy or anything like that. I just, not a fan. And 2019 was a good game. Good game. It had its flaws, but a good game. But afterwards is when you notice the plummet and the decline. And, goalies couldn't stop a beach ball to save their lives. Cross crease forcing, which they said they were going to fix, was more of an issue than ever. And then there were some such things that go as there's a method where you could score a goal, and then if you had the lead, all you had to do was rag the puck with this new teachable AI, what they like to call it. They wouldn't press. There's nothing you could do. You had to change up your strategies and the way your AI moved almost every quarter just to quarter period, just to anticipate how they would play.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I would have the lead, 2-1 lead. They would score a goal, tie it. A couple moments later, maybe minutes later, they'd gain the lead, and then they would just win the face-off, grab the puck, get behind, and when you stay behind the net, and when you finally press it, they would pass, they'd skate down, skate all the way back, sit behind the net, do it again. Intentional ragging of the puck, which if you try doing in an actual professional match of hockey in the NHL, the refs would flag you or call a penalty, delayed game or inappropriate conduct. I can't remember the year, but if you go on YouTube and you type Philly mocks Tampa Bay, literally Philly would go in, skate back, delay as long as they could, pass the puck, and the refs eventually had to come up and say, look, you keep doing this, we're going to call the penalty. You can literally hear the crowd booing in the video. I'll show you the video after the interview, but and we would bring this up, like, look, there's got to be something you can do about these people ragging the puck. It can't be that hard to code at 15 seconds in your own zone without moving, call a penalty. Another thing, there was a desync issue. Literally, you'd win the face-off, flip the puck over the glass, get a delay of game penalty against yourself, and if you kept doing it, it would force the user out of the game and give you the win while you were pretty much just constantly penalizing yourself. It's the only game that I know of where people would literally flood and dox people's routers to get free cards.
That's insane.
A lot of the top streamers, who some of them I'm still pretty friendly with, Nuge, Tugi, Wabba Plays, love you guys. I don't know if you're still playing the game, but literally there would be, Nuge is one of the top 100 players in the world. He got invited to the very first face-off event, which was a versus 1v1 esports tournament.
Okay.
He would literally play his games offline because every time he was online, someone would know that he was playing and flood his router, even if it wasn't the
So he got stream sniped.
Not stream sniped, no, like hit offline in the middle of streams. it wouldn't even be the person he was playing. Somebody wouldn't like him, want him to have the cards. They would hit him offline.
Oh man,
The community was incredibly toxic,
that's obnoxious.
which is one of the biggest reasons why I got to gone back. So
Ah man, that's genuinely annoying. So other than NHL hockey, what other games did you play while using Udabro? And if you want to go down that list, feel free. What are your other favorite video games in general that you like to stream?
So in terms of the first thing, in terms of Udabro, like I'd play an occasional different game here and there, but most of that content was NHL. Maybe the occasional Binding of Isaac stream or a rare game here or there, but that channel was built on hockey. And that was the majority of content on that channel before I rebranded and I started playing other games. Some other games that I would like to play on that channel, not limited to a couple of FPSs, and, Warzone at the time when it was good, not this new garbage Warzone that we have. Apex here and there, a little bit of Fortnite, but most of the content was hockey.
Okay. And as far as now, like what are you streaming right now? I know you've been playing a bit of Overwatch 2 and Marvel Rivals.
Those are my go-to competitive games, and crazy as it sounds, Disney Speedstorm.
Disney Speedstorm.
It's weird. I never figured myself for a kart person in terms of streaming it, but the community is actually really enjoyable, very friendly, and there's no shit talking on anyone. It's actually a peaceful community. Their official Discord server, if you actually type in the letters WTF or what the fuck, they won't send. It says it's a bannable message. Like, they make it as friendly as possible, and they really do a good job. Microtransactions to hell, but it's an enjoyable community. I stream my roguelites every now and then, but right now the big three are Speedstorm, Rivals, and Overwatch, all which have events going on right now, and it's a chore to cycle between the three, but I enjoy it.
Understandably so.
Other than those, like I stream a lot. I've recently got back into achievement hunting. I'm close to 200,000 gamer score on my second account. The first one at 800K before.
Now, how long have you been achievement hunting for?
If we're going back to the Udabro account, if we're going like far back, ever since I picked up a 360 console.
Okay.
Lip of Morphine, if you look it up now, it only has a couple of K, but before the whole controversy thing with save files like World at War and everything else, which you could not help if you went to a World at War lobby a couple of years after, people just auto popped all your achievements. Like, you couldn't. I had up to 800,000. At one point, I was close to 1 million. Now there's people with 3, 4, 5 million, like it's nothing. Back then there was no real benefit to it. It's just a bragging right. Now, having gamer score, if you do it in like Game Pass games, anything else, you actually get reward currency, which you can use for actual cash in the store or even pay for your membership. It's actually, it gives achievement hunting a purpose now. Like, if you do it on a Game Pass game, you get reward points.
Now, do you recommend this to anyone who's getting into it, or do you recommend people who have the time for it?
It's a little bit of both. It's not something that you can. I mean, you don't have to go hardcore at it. There are some people who complete the games that they have. There's different ways. There are people who care just about the number. They don't care about completing the games. They just want to get the numbers high as they can. That's kind of what I did on my old account. This account, I'm more about completing things. Most of my games I have completed. There's a good chunk, but my completion percent currently right now is I think about 47.3% out of everything that I've played. And that includes all the DLC that I haven't purchased yet and everything else. And unfortunately, Overwatch has a bunch of title updates, which really does kill my completion percentage.
Right.
And then, unfortunately, I do have games that's impossible to finish. They shut down the servers for Hunt Showdown. I had the Xbox One version. I got a free version of the Series S and X because I stopped the support. Unfortunately, that is a completely online game only, though, so it's impossible to finish what I've missed. And that's quite a bit. And I try not to start games that have impossible completions, like something's glitched or it's on, like people done the requirements, nothing. But for those games, I play it on different accounts so I can still enjoy the game. But in terms of my main game, my main profile, I'll avoid playing it on that profile for a reason. There are some people who will do the same game 4 times over. What I mean by that is they'll get the American version, the European version. If the game has a previous gen version, like Grim Idol, they'll get that, and then they'll do the Windows version as well. They'll stack it repeatedly just to get as much as they can out
Okay. Are you still active within the Gears of War and Halo community?
of it. Halo, not as much. My last real effort was Infinite. Great game, but for the first, I'll go as far as say 2.5 years of the game's life cycle, there was just no content. Forge World was constantly being delayed. Not a lot of maps, not a lot of DLC. It just felt very bare bones. And I haven't even played the story yet, but I just don't like the idea of an open world Halo game for a story. Halo's always been, okay, here's the level, start to finish, no branching out, playing in it. ODST did it properly because you played different characters in each mission, so it wasn't really open world, but it's still straight to the point. Open world games that have always been open world do it beautifully. Halo did not the biggest fan. Not saying it's not good, but I personally can't get into it for that reason.
And in terms of Gears of War?
Did not enjoy 5 at all for the multiplayer. I haven't touched the story yet. It's something I need to do, but I'm very, very excited for E-Day. Like, just to see Dom and Marcus together again is going to be awesome. The first 3 games, hands down, priceless gems. Like, must-play games. Judgment's okay. The story's not bad. It tells the story of Barrett before he meets Marcus and Dom. And then it's also got a DLC thing for 3 in there as well, which tells more of Baird, Sam, and Coltrane's progression while Marcus, Dom, Anya are doing their own thing. I think Dizzy's in that as well with Barrett and Cole, but like Judgment was not bad. Never played any I played a little bit of multiplayer before, but the story was kind of weird. I did finish it, but I never really touched 5. The remaster for 1 was really cool as well because you got that PC exclusive DLC for 1,
right,
where you fight a Brumach. Like most people's first experience fighting a Brumach was in Gears 2. But there was a DLC for the first game if you had on PC where you actually fight a Brumach who's stuck in the movie theater, if I remember correctly.
Oh man!
So it was pretty cool. Gears, I still have some hope for. I've got a lot of Gears merchandise, as you saw. I still have my Gears of War 360 console.
Oh yeah.
I love Gears. Gears was the whole reason I continued with the Xbox path over PlayStation. It was the whole reason.
Understandably so. All right. Before we wrap this interview up. Do you want to give any advice or let us know where to follow you before we wrap everything up?
I can give some advice on a couple of different things. In terms of streaming, don't get discouraged with it. I've had my new channel for almost a year, and I have not made the growth that I made at all in the other one. But with the other channel, I also made several mistakes while growing way too big. I was giving away my cards. Every month I was giving away a $20 currency code. And I realized very quickly, early on, that while my numbers were growing, no community was being built. People were just following for their chance for free shit. In this one, I haven't done any giveaways yet. I have plans, but it's more so in time with, like, prime example, unfortunately I didn't get to do it, but Overwatch just released their new season.
Right.
The plan was to give away a couple of premium battle passes to celebrate the launch. Unfortunately, events happened where I can't afford to do so. But planned, like 2, and it's like 2 giveaways every 3 months versus doing a giveaway every 2 weeks for cards and doing a giveaway once a month for free currency. It was, people weren't there for the content. People were there because, oh, he's giving away something. Another thing, just be consistent with it. It takes a lot. People don't really realize how much of I don't want to say of a job it is, but it essentially is like a full-time job. You're always networking online. You're always interacting with people. You're always meeting new content creators. If you're hanging around your own channel, you're going live all the time. If your Twitter page is nothing but posting you going live or no retweets or anything else, you're doing it wrong. Don't get me wrong. Some people there are some people who do that, but they're like the top number one or number in the top 10 players of the world that do that, and the gameplay is what draws them in, type of thing. But it's constant. There's always opportunities. One of the things I taught you, always carry a stack of cards around or some promotional material like your shirt or your stickers, which, by the way, we have his sticker on the front door to my place. So
no, they know. They know. That's like the first part of this whole video.
But another thing I can say is esports, which might take a minute on this. Esports, it's a wonderful experience, but man, does it destroy friendships. The biggest thing I can think of, you're playing with your guys, let's say you're playing Apex or Fortnite, you finish second as a team.
Yeah.
All right, cool, damn, man. Hey, we'll get them next time. Versus you do that in a tournament, you finish, and everybody's looking around like, okay, which one of us has cost us $15,000 on top of what we're going to get now? At that point, you're practicing 10, 12 hours a day, doing scrims, meetings, watching film, and I honestly, I still had hope at that point. Bless you. But when I started doing esports for NHL is when the game really, I killed the game for me. And it's unfortunate, but the minute you try to make a video game a job in terms of income, in terms of playing competitively, it's a whole different world, a whole different ball game, and it's damning.
I can understand. So many friendships you made dissipated over money.
Oh, several. Me and the owner of Space Esports, who was the team that I played professionally for, dude, we were best of friends. Called me whenever I needed something. I'd have moments where I couldn't, get online. Like there was even a point where when I just recently moved in, I couldn't pay my internet wouldn't connect at all. He sent me $600 to get new router, new equipment, find a better company, get me hardwired instead of playing on. Literally, went above and beyond. But the minute he said he wanted to play on the team, and he hadn't played since 2013, and he's doing all these tactics, he immediately went from being my friend to I'm your boss, what I say goes. And we did horrible at our first event.
Oh man.
He tried using so many outdated tactics to where we eventually got him off the team, but at that point, nobody wanted to play for Space anymore.
Have you patched things up with him?
He kind of vanished. He sold the team was disassembled. No one really knows what happened to him. He was, I hate to say this, but he thought because he had a big bank account, he could just do whatever he wanted, which a member who, I really only talked to two members of Space. One of them is my Canadian unicorn. His online name is Oh So Harmful. His name is also Lucas.
Oh,
so my Canadian hammy. Which congratulations, man, being a dad, big accomplishment.
I'm familiar with him. He actually reached out to me a couple of times.
Yeah, he's good company. He's good guy, good company. And then the other one is by name, which major shout out to Saki Sakura TV.
Saki Sakura is the one doing some of the female-only FGC stuff, right?
She sure is. She initially approached the owner of Space Things, and he straight up told...
She's local, right?
She's local. And he pretty much told her there's no interest, there's no... And I have never been so happy to see someone proven so wrong, because she's done casting for Frosty Faults. She has this Queen of the Hill or series that she does for Mortal Kombat. She's made a name for herself, and I'm just beyond thrilled to see the success that she's had, especially when someone in a position like him straight up said, "There's no interest in that. There's no," and she's killing it.
Funny
she's
how that
absolutely
works.
killing it. Last time I checked, I think she's sitting at 13.2 thousand followers. So she's absolutely killing it.
Funny how that works. Hilarious, even.
Some people refuse to really acknowledge and accept change. Like, there's a couple other people who are pretty big in games. They had a few for Dead by Daylight. They had a few for Evolve, because they still did Evolve private tournaments and everything. But Dead by Daylight is, I don't want to say it's dying, but it's been around forever. The games are starting to, which is why I love Rivals so much. Yes, Dead by Daylight lays the groundwork, but the new companies that can take that, use that knowledge, enhance on it, and deliver a brand new experience. And again, it's while I still will play Overwatch, I truly think Marvel Rivals is a superior game. And
it truly is.
And they're completely different games.
Yes.
They really are. Overwatch, you can't be too, like, you can be, but being too aggressive at times will screw you in situations versus not, because it's 5v5. Marvel Rivals 6v6. You've got that extra player. You can have someone be a little aggressive. You're not locked into a role. It's open.
You really can be. I love being Punisher and just like destroying people.
Punisher, and that's one other thing. There are characters that you would think, okay, this character is a tank. Punisher's a big dude, a lot of guns, a lot of weapons, grenades.
You see me get the 10-player kill streak,
and he's a DPS. That guy's. His health bar's only 250. It doesn't feel like he soaks it up, but God, does he soak it up. And when you put down the turret, if you're attacking the turret, that big skull shielding him, you're destroying the turret, and it's just... God, the game is fun, man. The addition of Human Torch and the Thing for the whole Fantastic Four family out right now. Do you know if you team up with him and Storm, when she summons her tornado, if you go supernova, her tornado becomes a massive fire tornado on top of the ones that he can throw onto the field.
That's insane. There
There are so many interesting combos and team-ups that you wouldn't think work. And then on top of the obscure characters that really don't get the love, like Magic, Jeff the Land Shark, Squirrel Girl. Just a few who...
Yeah, I think that game's popularity is going to put them into Marvel vs. Capcom 4 in the near future.
Yeah. Probably same thing with Luna Frost as well. But then you see some characters who, like, even Namor, which I'm hoping to get a 60s Namor skin with the Speedo, the wings on his feet, and then...
That man's been around since the 30s.
No, he's been around a long time. And then they've got some characters coming who, you know, it's gonna be awesome to see Blade. It's going to be awesome to see Charles Xavier, Phoenix, Emma Frost. It's going to be awesome to see all these characters. And it's just chaos, and I think that's what makes the game fun. My last bit of Marvel Rivals, I went to a quick play match. A bunch of random people. And I said, fuck it. Everybody, let's go support. We won a game with 6 supports. Not just because of the healing we're doing, but half of those supports, they're not really healing support. Loki has one thing that allows him to heal. Otherwise, he's all damage. Cloak and Dagger, probably one of the most broken healers in the game. On top of having the 2 things to shift between phase and damage, let's say you use your LB ability as Cloak. If you switch to Dagger, you don't have to wait for the LB ability to restore. That's still good to go. So if you can time your switches and your usage right, you'll have a never-ending ability usage. And it's the top Jeff player in the world. He dives, 2 seconds, jumps out, throws a bubble, speed boost, dives back in constantly. He's going up the walls, and nobody can hit him. And he's the number 1 Jeff player in the world. Tim the Tatman was watching some of his videos, and I've never seen Jeff movement like that. And the game also does, like, while you can spend money, the game has so many different ways of allowing you to earn the tokens to purchase some of the skins in the shop. Prime example, they just made an update. It's the second half of this current season. Once the battle pass is over, that was it. There is a new panel on the battle pass now. Once you get that final comic book page, every 1,000 purple tokens that you get, you can cash in for 100 blue tokens, which is the premium currency to buy skins in the shop. There's 47 days. I'm already done with the battle pass. That is 47 days of me earning challenges to build up my blue tokens credit.
Insanity.
So even despite the layoffs in Seattle, like Marvel Rivals, I don't think is going anywhere. Yeah, Overwatch has got some steam right now. They've brought back loot boxes, which you earn for free. They've introduced a perk system, which I have to admit is the best way to adapt to a lot of the issues. Counter swapping in Overwatch was a huge thing. These perk things allow you to where you don't, even if you are, pardon me, getting counter swapped and counter picked to be at a disadvantage, you can still fight back. I will admit, Overwatch has done some good things, but I just don't see it being enough to really do anything against Marvel Rivals and what they've got planned. But in terms of where you can find me, you can follow me everywhere: TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram coming soon at HereseyLeader. We have a little bit of an open streaming schedule right now, unfortunately, which we're hoping to rectify that soon, get it more tight in the bud. But yeah, we do a little bit of much of everything, man. I like to go around as much as I can when I'm not doing my own thing. I pop into small. Very first thing I do is look at a new game on the category. I'm gonna go into it. I don't do from high to low in terms of views. I'll go from low to high. I want to look at those little guys, because it can be demoralizing when you're on for 4 or 5 hours. You're the only one in there. No one's chatting. It can definitely demoralize you, and it definitely can make things harder to do in terms of streaming because you've got no one to talk to.
I think one of the biggest things is just being a little delusional and just keep on grinding, because at some point you get people popping in the chat and saying what's up. That's how I saw it, like I'll still say, all right, chat, we're gonna do this. Chat, literally nothing in my chat. And like
and
a little bit of
the
delusion key. Never helped, or always helped.
That is the key though, because and that's another reason why I really like playing multiplayer games on stream over single player, is because even if like the chat's a little slow that day, the fact that you get other people in your ears who you're talking to who they might not be able to hear depending on your setup, it helps you converse and helps you be active and everything else. Which, sorry to backtrack a little bit, the next bit of the streaming advice I can give is you don't have to have all the fancy toys to stream. I got my starting just by doing it through the console. On the when it came to Twitch, I got it through the built-in capture card on my Xbox One. Yeah, I had YouTube videos and I could stream on Justin TV with my little teardrop-shaped dazzle, but it was a hunk of junk. The output wasn't good. We're talking it looked like a. You ever played Doom on the Super Nintendo?
I'm familiar with Doom on the Super Nintendo.
How blurry it is, how pixelated it is. It looks like crap. That was what the quality looked like from the dazzle. Like it. I even went out of my way to buy an HD version of it, and not much better. So like the Hapage was the next thing up. It looked better, but it wasn't until I started doing the Elgato stuff where most recently I finally got my HD 60X hooked up, and the stream looks gorgeous. Quality of the capture is phenomenal. So, but it's a lot of work. A lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of work. And the reason why I say not to spend the money for starting off is that most streamers, new streamers, they don't make it past the first 90 days. If you make it past the 90 days and you still enjoy it and everything else, that's when like, okay, let's talk about getting a logo made. Let's talk about getting alerts set up, emotes for the thing, for eventual partnership, and the Twitch affiliate and Twitch partner. It is very cutthroat. A lot of people steal ideas, a lot of people repurpose ideas, a lot of people try to do it better than the person who come up with. There was somebody who eventually started doing the Sixes lobbies and did it a hell of a lot better than I could. Did it with tournaments, monthly prizes, things I couldn't afford to do.
Dude, there's like 5 people I can name on the top of my head that have done that, just outside of the aspect of streaming.
Yeah, it's a very cutthroat thing.
I feel like that's like a lot of these other industries that I've witnessed so far. But let's not speak too much on that.
But the greatest thing you can get from Twitch, however, though, is friendship. Streaming is friendship. It's no secret you and a couple of other people are probably the only like local friends that I have. But some of my greatest friendships are people online who, realistically, I may never ever meet, but like it's as if I've known them for years, and I got a group of guys on my Discord right now. I've known them barely a year.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I've met a couple of my supporters.
Oh, I mean, it does happen. Like I've met back from the NHL days. I got to meet Grease Factory. I got to meet like Grease Factory. I met Ginger Ninja. I met Chaotic. I met quite a few people in the NHL community, which was really cool. But most of your followers is another thing. This is that most of your followers, it's gonna change consistently. Like there was a range when I was doing Fortnite where it was only kids, and I had this one kid. He was so excited to play. He was like, "Oh my god, it's like," and just hearing the excitement is great. And he's like, "Can I be your battle buddy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can be my battle buddy." One day I was wearing my jersey and my sweatshirt outside at a GameStop, and the mom stopped me and she's like, "I'm sorry to stop you, I'm busy, but you know, like my son wants to know if that's a team that you like." I said, no. I said, I played for them, and it made this kid's day to see me. Mom, he asked for a photo. The kid took a picture of me. The mom took the picture. That's probably my coolest moment ever, is the fact that somebody wanted a photo with me in my gear. But streaming, it definitely has its highs and its lows.
For sure. 1000%.
Man, I keep going back and forth on this.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I think.
But there's just so much to talk about. Like, honestly, you gotta have a limit on your video. But like, if I went
listen. Here's what I'm gonna say. Silverback Senpai, if you're watching my shit and you need someone new on your podcast, this is the man to reach out to in terms of video games.
I would love to. I'm incredibly jealous. In fact, you got to meet Rikishi last night too, man. I saw that and I was like, damn, I wanted to go. I love wrestling. I won't put her name, but the person I'm dating, her grandfather's the Great Mancini.
That's insane.
So like I'm gonna get to meet the Great Mancini. I'm gonna get to meet his kids, his grandkids, his nieces and nephews, and like all I can think is, it's the Great Mancini, man. Like, oh my god. I've met a few wrestlers. I've met Mick Foley. I got to meet
I love
Gangrel.
Mick Foley. I've seen Mick Foley's been everywhere lately. He's going to be at UltraCon this year, I believe, and he was just at Stash not too long ago for he dressed up like Santa and people got to sit on his lap.
Oh my god! Please tell me he had the whole get up on his face and everything too.
Oh, so. Mankind now.
The last wrestler I met was at GalaxyCon, and I had no idea he was going to be there, and he was setting up and
Nightmare Miami.
Yeah, Nightmare. I got to meet Debo Dudley.
That's insane.
And like he was really cool. He answered a few questions. And I just only had one. I said, listen. I said, I gotta ask him, what was it like after all those years being away, coming back against New Day like that? And he said, man. He said the crowd was insane. The fact that they were screaming, "Get a table!" and everybody. He said it's like we never left.
Oh boy.
It was so cool. And I'm like, I didn't know you liked horror. So I love horror movies. You know, they're great. You know, I wanted a picture, but at the same time, the man was setting up his booth. He had one of the belts up on the table, and I'm like, oh my god. But you know, be respectful. Obviously, I didn't have the money for that at the time either. So, but it was cool. Like a lot of these. Ryback is live on TikTok almost every day, chatting with people.
That's insane.
But,
was it just like a just chatting stream?
Yeah, he'll go live on TikTok and he'll bring people in and like they'll do battles, they'll talk and hang out and everything. It was never a big Ryback, but a lot of the wrestlers, man, they're actually really incredibly humble, down to earth people. Like they really are.
Hell yeah. Anyway, let me not take up too much of your time.
No, thanks for having me as always.
You coming on to the channel. If you guys haven't done so already, please go onto this man's Twitch channel, HereseyLeader.com. Check him out. He's playing Disney Speedstorm. He's been playing freaking Brutal Legend.
Yeah, Brutal. Man, Brutal. We're going to be doing some Avowed pretty here soon, too.
Give him a follow. Shout him out. Let him know where you came from. And as always, this is your boy, Metahuman Macaluco. Peace.
There's no compromise for quality.
Count on us.
And there's nothing too good for a customer.
Fuck Lucas Versace.